Hello again to another Agakala React, and today we will be watching Are there aliens in Dune? That's a good question, because they kind of wear over a lot of planets, and we haven't seen any aliens, did we? Yeah, so let's just jump into the sea, learn.
At the beginning of the Dune series, the Great Houses of the Landsraad manage over 13,000 planets. Thanks to the Holtzman Drive, traveling between these planets happens almost instantaneously, making the vast expanse of the galaxy feel a lot smaller than it actually is. After the reign of the God Emperor, mankind scattered in all directions, venturing into the uncharted reaches of space. This event, known as the Scattering, sent humanity so far out that it would take 15 centuries before anyone returned. Over the next 5,000 years, spanning the entire saga of Dune, humanity's exploration continued. Some groups became so isolated that they evolved in ways that made them almost, but not quite, unrecognizable. Now, here's where things get interesting. The Dune universe is vast, but for all the exploration we've seen in the films, there's one thing that stands out. We haven't seen any form of intelligent alien life, mostly because the story focuses on humanity and the internal machinations of our own human minds. But that doesn't stop the people of this universe from entertaining the possibility of alien life. In fact, there are a few tantalizing clues that hint at the existence of extraterrestrial intelligence, some more mysterious than others. For example, after the God Emperor Leto II's death, something absolutely unheard of was discovered: the Crompton ruins. The guild ship Rondelai, under Captain Levis Crompton, explored the farthest reaches of space, eventually finding a G-type star named Sutter 4041 and its planets. The fourth planet, later named Crompton, turned out to be within the star's habitable zone. When they explored it, they found something truly bizarre: an artificial structure nearly a kilometer long sitting on the planet's largest lake. Following protocol for potential alien contact, Captain Ryola Senchek ordered her crew to conduct more detailed satellite scans while the ground crew returned to the ship. What they found wasn't pretty. The structure was badly damaged, with no signs of life anywhere. Still, the Guild, who had a monopoly on space travel and a solid record of human exploration, was sure that no human had ever been to Crompton. But of course, word spread, and the Guild was determined to uncover the origins of this mysterious structure. So what did they do? They sent a second, much larger expedition to Crompton in the year 14702. This time, 5 Highliners and a huge crew of archaeologists, architects, xenobiologists, and more returned. As news of potential alien life spread, they meticulously examined the ruins, making it the most thorough investigation of an uninhabited planet ever conducted. So what did they find? The ruins were between 3,000 and 5,000 years old. No sign of where they came from though. The general consensus? These ruins were proof that intelligent alien life had once existed. Maybe. It wasn't too hard to believe, given how perfectly the structures fit with the idea of alien beings. Yet there were some dissenters. Some argued that the universe is just too vast for humanity to have been in the right place at the right time to find these ruins. They believed that, while humanity might not meet these aliens tomorrow, next year, or in the next century, the evidence was clear. Aliens existed, and we'd better figure out what we'd do when we made contact. But then things took a wild turn. Several years later, Leto II's No Room was discovered on Arrakis. And, plot twist, the structure on Crompton turned out to be nearly identical to this one. The only difference is that it had been heavily decomposed by microorganisms that could easily break down metals, plant fibers, and animal tissue. The theory that the Crompton ruins were built by aliens fell apart fast. The mystery shifted from wondering about aliens to questioning how and why the God Emperor had sent a crew to Crompton to build a structure like this in the first place. But the mystery of alien life doesn't stop there. The Dune Encyclopedia mentions a legend of the Star Searcher. This story comes from a time before the Guild, and it was whispered across worlds like Arrakis, Ix, and Ekis. The legend goes like this. The Star Searcher, a Class 3 starship, started small but eventually grew into a colossal Class 9. In the year 480 BG, the crew embarked on a long journey to the Noosh star system. Along the way, they discovered an abandoned cargo vessel just floating around in space. Curious, they investigated the ship and then resumed their journey. 2 weeks later, things went downhill fast. The entire crew was struck by what could only be described as an anti-cytologic microspore, an infection that made them all go completely insane. High fever, sweating, dizziness, and the worst of all, dementia magnum. Put simply, they were mad. Their minds twisted into a paranoid frenzy. In just 3 weeks, they were convinced that humanity had been wiped out by an invasion force of horrifying aliens who attacked from invisible ships with unstoppable weapons. They broadcasted this revelation on all emergency frequencies.
That isn't from Dune,
utterly
isn't it?
convinced that they were under attack, decided to fly deeper into space to find these aliens. Eventually, their supplies ran out, and their ship was never seen again. Some say it's still out there, endlessly searching the stars, ready to strike. The near light speed travel meant that, in a sense, the crew lived on, their minds forever entwined with their mission. alien. This legend introduces a chilling possibility. Could there really be something out there? In many sci-fi epics, aliens are a major part of the story, whether they're lurking on the edges of space or integrated into galactic society. But Dune is different. The alien roles are often filled by evolved humans. Take the Tleilaxu, for example. So isolated on the planet Tleilax that they've developed into elf-like creatures who don't even breed with outsiders. Then there are the guild navigators, who may look alien, but they're as human as you or me, albeit heavily altered by large doses of the spice melange. But they're still human. Frank Herbert's goal was to create a story about humanity, about what we can become, how we can evolve, and the infinite possibilities of our future. That said, there is at least one true alien entity in the Dune universe. Arrakis, before it became the desert world we know, was once a lush, wet planet filled with rivers, oceans, and trees. That is, until the sand trout came along and completely changed the game. But let's not get carried away. Sandworms aren't exactly what you'd call intelligent creatures, at least not before Leto II's consciousness was split among them. But still, the whole human universe revolves around them. Spice melange, the most valuable commodity in the galaxy, is a direct byproduct of the sandworm life cycle. The sand trout was introduced here from some other place. Sand trout insisted the available free water made this a desert planet, and they did it to survive. In a planet sufficiently dry, they could move to their sandworm phase. The idea of the sand trout shaping the future of an entire planet and eventually the entire galaxy was hard to accept. Arrakis hadn't always been special. Somewhere out there in the universe, there could have been another Dune. Maybe it still exists. Whether the sandworms were brought to Arrakis by accident or design remains a mystery. But one thing is for sure. The species is there to stay. The sandworms became enmeshed in the very fabric of human civilization. Spice was, and still is, the galaxy's most coveted substance. The addiction to it runs deep. So deep that many would perish without it. While there's some spice from Tleilax that's usable, the Bene Gesserit maintain it's inferior to the true melange. The relationship between the sandworms and humans is symbiotic. They may not be intelligent by traditional standards, but their ability to create substances that affect human consciousness and biology has made them one of the most powerful evolutionary forces in the galaxy. It's still unclear whether Frank Herbert ever intended to introduce actual intelligent alien life into the Dune series, but if he did, there were certainly plenty of ways to make it happen. But what are your thoughts? Drop them in the comments below. Also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more Dune lore.
Okay. That video like that actually want me to go back to the Dune, but I just can't. I don't know. Maybe someday. You know. I did read it, the first one for sure. It was getting a bit confusing, and it's like Frank Herbert was on really hard drugs when he was writing it, especially the second one. When I started reading the second one, it's just I just could not follow at all. So yeah, it's hard to read. It's very hard to read. So, but the story is really good, and when I'm watching videos like that, I'm kind of like, I really want to go back to it and read, but it's just, I know it's hard. And I'm probably gonna put it away again, and in the same time I could just read something else. That's good. So thank you very much for watching, and I see you tomorrow. Bye.